This is a certified hood classic.
I am Cornholio. I need TV for my bunghole.
Bruh.
Bueller.
Element.
Oh, I have this.
It's broken.
Whoops. I jumped ahead of the gun today, or whatever they call that.
Ahead of the gun. Never.
No, there it is.
There it is. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. Florida Friday in court today, of course. So it's be all day Florida, all Friday.
Love that.
I don't know what that -2 Oh, so -2 Fahrenheit. I do know what that is.
Which is like -9. Oh, okay.
That's like below freezing.
It's only F around here.
We only give a F.
That's right. That's it. No, so lots of pictures of very snowy America. Thank God, not here.
It's
cold.
Supposed to have really bad weather here tonight.
Yeah.
Over the overnight.
So it's coming.
They said the bullseye is just south of us, so kind of into South Carolina.
Yeah, actually, Reed was watching a little bit of him this morning. Him and his older age, thank God, he's not as remember when he had the TV days, he's just so out there with the tornadoes on big TV. Anyways, watching him today, did mention Greenville and Newbern. So yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, my parents, parents, we're heading to Sam's Club if you want anything. I was like, I haven't been there in about 2 years. I have no idea, but I'm like, I'll take a couple rotisserie chickens though.
Yeah, get a couple of them bad boys. They're only like less than $5 for an entire roasted chicken, dude.
Yeah, and it's great because the wife will go through all the the disgusting parts, and she'll just grab out the good. Yeah,
she just rambles into the good meat.
Oh, she's good at it. Anyways, all right, yeah, Florida Friday, court wise too. So what do we got? First appearances, I think.
Yeah, we're going to kick in some first appearances, and then we're going to head to court and find a lady who, well, she's just not quite getting it. So they say.
All right.
Miss Warren, good morning. Miss Warren, you're here for first appearance accused of one count of battery. Miss Warren, there is probable cause in the complaint, ma'am. The criminal history shows almost nothing. There was one prior charge that was a minor offense several years ago that's on your criminal history. Your mother and your stepfather are both in the courtroom, Miss Warren. Corporal, my understanding is there's a Baker Act in process, although it's not been signed yet. Corporal, have you seen anything that thinks that from the jail's perspective that she may qualify for the Baker Act?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
Okay. All right. So the criminal history is good, Miss Warren. We've got to figure out the Baker Act. Hang on just a second, ma'am. I don't want you to say anything to hurt yourself. Miss Warren, I do need to figure out the living situation, though. You and your husband reside together currently. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Time to move, Grammy.
I'm going to put a condition of no contact, probably. I'll make that decision when I talk to him in just a minute, at least on a temporary basis. Do you have children together, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
How many children do you have?
2.
And what are their ages?
17 and 12.
17 years or 17 months?
17 years old and 12 years old.
And 12 years old. Okay. All right. Miss Warren, just if you'll step to the side, we're going to call up Mr. Warren and try to figure out the living situation, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Your Honor, she said that her mother and stepfather would probably allow them to go stay with them. That's my understanding talking to the parties.
I think Mr. Warren may have a place to go. I don't know which one would be better, for her to go or for him to go, if the family has the input.
He says that you don't have a place to go.
His mother's here, and she says he does. Mr. Warren's mother's here also. So let me see. She can just stand in the background there. Mr. Warren, good morning. The Dillon State versus Dillon Warren. Warren, your mother's here also.
Same with Sam's Club.
Battery, Mr. Warren. There is probable cause for the charge, although it's probably a close call. There's probable cause. Mr. Warren, you have absolutely no prior criminal history also, but my plan is to try to keep you apart on a temporary basis until we can figure out where things stand.
a lot to unpack in that first little bit. She is getting Baker Act. So basically they're saying she's got some things going on mentally that should be addressed.
I think that they're right about that, actually, from what I saw. I have no doubt.
And I guess this is her husband, significant other, the one that she has the 12 and the 17-year-old with. They're both there together. They've both been incarcerated over this incident. 4 inches is fine. So that's what's going on with this. They're going to put her to the side for a minute, try and figure out a few things. And even the guy in the jailhouse said that she has some issues.
I am glad to hear that one small little point that they mentioned, and that's about the step mom, I believe.
Yeah, it seems like a whole lot of family involved on both sides of the family.
They could take the children, so they're not going into the system, if you will. So that's good to hear.
Mr. Warren, my understanding is that you do definitely have a place to go, at least on a temporary basis, to be with your mother. Is that right, ma'am? And your mother's in the courtroom. Is that, Mr. Warren, if I were to give you a conditional release with the conditions you have no contact with Amber for the time being, can you make that work, Mr. Warren?
Could I make a comment, sir? Could I say something?
You can, but do not talk about what you've been accused of. I would suggest you not do that because we're being recorded. Okay, go ahead.
Right. My livelihood, my job is at my house. That's how I pay my bills. That's how I feed my kids. That's how we make our money. So I have to be, and I have obligations. I have 5 vehicles that belong to customers at my house that I have obligations.
He's a mechanic. I thought he was a YouTuber.
I think I saw in the paperwork that you're a paint and body man. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And the shop is actually at your house.
Yes, sir.
So you're gonna try to get an estimate.
Okay. So the question then becomes, go ahead.
Could I leave you today?
I have to be there.
So Mr. McDaniel, does Miss Warren have somewhere else she could go, even if she's Baker acted when she gets out? I need to have a plan for her. Mr. McDaniel, does she have a plan of where she could go?
Miss Griffith may let her stay at her house. That's only, and she's also indicating to me that she can leave in the daytime, but I don't know how well
that's rare these days.
Yeah, stop. Don't.
Whoa, what was that?
She's speaking up over there. Yeah.
So I'm going to deal with his case first. Mr. Warren, what I'm going to do in your case is let you pick between a bond and a conditional release. If you want to post a bond, it's $2,500 cash or surety. If you accept the conditional release, I'm going to grant you the conditional release.
I thought that's where he was going there for
the conditional release. There is a condition of no contact with Amber Warren, and under the circumstances, based upon a reading of the complaint, it appears that you were not the primary aggressor. Now, there's evidence, there's probable cause for battery, but that does not mean that you're a primary aggressor based upon the witness statement that was included in the complaint or the summary of the witness statement.
She went after
him. So you'll be allowed
him.
to stay in the residence.
Allegedly.
If you wish to. If you wish to go somewhere else, that's fine too. But we're going to deal with Miss Warren's living situation in just a moment. Do you want to post the bond, or do you want to accept the conditional release, or do you have questions?
I'll go with a conditional release.
All right. So the standard conditions of release will apply, plus the condition of no contact with Miss Warren.
I can hear her still.
Ma'am, on the conditional release, what's going to happen is he's going to be brought to the courthouse roughly about a half hour. So let him get dressed and everything. He'll be brought to the courthouse to meet with a conditional release officer, and then he will be free to leave once he meets with a conditional release officer. Are you going to be able to pick him up? Your mother's going to be able to pick you up.
That's what he just said.
Warren. And I want to be clear, I'm not putting a condition of no contact with the children on either of them.
I believe that's what the judge said.
I'm not trying to interfere with the parental relationship. Yeah. There's no basis to do that. But they do need to stay away from each other, at least on a temporary basis. Mr. Warren, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, sir. The last thing is when you get here for the conditional release, they're going to give you a notice for your court date. Your court date will be February the 5th at 9 a.m. You will not get a notice in the mail. The notice they put in your hand when you get to the conditional release office will be the only notice you get. You got to be in court February 5th at 9 a.m. if the case is still pending.
Also, I'm pretty sure by watching this dude's reaction to that, I'm pretty sure somebody had to
kind of settle her down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's chained up to a bench or something. You know, that's what it looked like. Anyways, he was kind of concerned. He kind of just
settle down over there.
Yeah, one of those kind of things. Karen G. Hello.
You should contact the clerk of court the week before, and if it's still pending, you've got to be here. Any questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So, ma'am, he can be picked up in roughly a half hour. So let me go back to Miss Warren then.
I really.
You see that? I almost think you want to say something to her there. The muting is interesting.
He's trying to get her to listen.
Yeah.
Ms. Warren, what I'm going to do in your case this morning, because it does not appear that you have a place to stay, and because it appears you may qualify for a Baker Act, is I'm going to set you a bond this morning.
No?
With the following understanding. Your bond's going to be the standard bond of $2,500. But I want to ask Life Management to do an evaluation, Corporal, and see if we can get them out there and do an evaluation and see if they think she qualifies for a Baker Act. If she qualifies for a Baker Act, Mr. McDaniel, or Mr. Griffith may know, will they take her on a Baker Act on a conditional release, or does it have to be an ROR?
Oh,
Corporal?
You know, when I said that she's got some issues, I don't think she's gonna qualify for Baker Act. I mean, I thought that maybe you said there was one in the way in the process coming from the court or something.
he's backpedaling.
Mother
She's
has
got-
filed one. She started the process.
That's interesting, huh?
Her face kind of tells a tale too. Yeah, he said she's got some issues, but now he's backtracking, saying, "Well, when I said she had some issues, I didn't mean she had some issues. I just meant she needs to settle down." It's kind of
Right, Hector. Crazy, but not that crazy.
crazy. Yes, slightly.
Huh. Yeah, it seems like first time around he had a slightly different, and now the look on her face almost like, wait a minute, I want a Baker Act. I want to be taking
She
it.
doesn't even understand what the bond whole deal is. She freaked out over that too. So she's dramatic. We'll give her that.
All right, this is interesting.
Says she hasn't submitted it to the court yet because the clerk's office told her it wouldn't be signed because she was in jail, which is accurate. But even if it gets signed, it doesn't take precedent or priority over the criminal charges. So I don't have a problem with a conditional release, but I'm not going to do that until she at least is evaluated by Life Management. So you've got a bond this morning. You're not going to be able to post a bond at least until noon because I need to get Life Management time to get out there. If they're not out there by noon, you've got the right to post bond. On the other, and if they do determine that you qualify for the Baker Act, I'm going to consider some type of release option to make that happen.
Yeah, I heard Walmart has great king cake, huh? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Get her out of jail and Baker Acted because of her lack of criminal history. You have a condition of no contact with Mr. Warren. You've heard me say that he's got to be at that home because of his work situation and because of the body shop there. So that means you can't live there. So, Ms. Warren, if you post bond, or if your friends or family post bond for you, or if you get Baker Acted and are released, you've got to live somewhere else other than that home. Ms. Warren, do not talk about what you've been accused of, but if you have a question, and if it's a question I can answer, I will try. Questions?
Sure.
I take care of the kids. He doesn't. I'm home taking care of the house all day. So I'm just trying to figure out how and who would be there for the kids while he's busy. And also I would like my medicine because that kind of plays a role in the mental health thing. And they just keep refusing me. So
okay. If you have medication that you're prescribed, it has to be taken to the jail in a prescription bottle with your name on it, and then the jail medical staff will decide if it's something you can have. Like you can have most medications except for certain controlled substances or pain medicines. Do you have the medication there, Ms. Warren? Has it been delivered to the jail?
One of them I have to go pick up and pay $70 for, and then the other one is a new one that is somewhere laying in my room.
Oh, great!
I haven't tried yet. Then
you've got a bond you've got a bond that's effective at noon, but hopefully Life Management will do the evaluation. And again, Corporal, just to be clear, if they say she qualifies for Baker Act, I need to know immediately by an email to myself, the state, and defense, because so I can then consider what's the best way to make that happen, either conditional release or an ROR. Okay. Yes, sir.
They can't Baker Act her while she's in jail. I didn't know that.
No, it's interesting.
I think it has to be an ROR if my memory is correct. I don't know that they will take her, but then if you do an ROR.
So what if you? Wait a minute.
Or you've got what conditions can you put on an ROR? And I don't. That's something we'll have to decide if this all comes to pass.
All right, so that's pretty. So just pretend you're a judge for a moment. So you kind of have to make the right thing in order for her to even be Like, oh God, look at her
Are-
face right there.
Are we going to let her out now on a
Well, that's just it.
on a bond?
You'd
And
have
then-
to. You'd have to, if you wanted her to, if you felt as if that's where it was going and what is best for her, right? Because
so
it doesn't sound
confused.
like he can do it.
No, I'm very confused by the attorney switching up really fast.
Yeah, this is confusing.
Do you think it's so he was trying to help her just go ahead and get on out?
I don't know. It's interesting. I don't understand why you couldn't. I don't understand why the judge can't just like say, "Oh my God, yeah, it looks like looking through, you need it, and you got."
It has to be evaluated by the experts.
All right. So what if you just like OR, let her out or small bond, and they don't Baker Act her, even though that's as a judge, that's what you feel needs to be done. Then
she's just out and about.
And now he's saying with the conditions. I don't know. It's a.
And he said they won't take her if she's got conditions. I don't know. That seems like a lot.
Thank you, Karen G. Gifted one over to the. We got a case.
Love it. Thank you so much. Your first one on Karen G.
Appreciate it. Oh my God.
Well, it's your birthday too?
Happy birthday!
Karen.
Karen G. Karen, happy birthday.
Any questions? I would still file that. I would still file it. Let Judge Garcia review it, and if Judge Garcia grants it, regardless of what life management says, then I need to be notified immediately, and then I will grant a release option to make that effective and get her down there. I think it's. Okay. So just to be clear, what your mother's not saying you don't have a place to go. Your mother's saying you don't have a place to go unless you're stable. Is that right?
Is that? I guess yeah. He could do that though, right? Which could result into. Yeah, that's all. We've heard that numerous times. Somebody having to have a mental health evaluation before anything.
Yeah, I guess that's where we're at with it. Kind of, sort of. And her mom said, "Hey, you ain't come to stay with me until you get sit together." So that's a tough one too.
I don't want any drama over their house, especially if the kids are going to be there. But now it sounds like the kids are just going to stay with the dad.
Good to see Miss Carrie. It really does. We jump around from state to state, and everything's kind of different. Life management is mental health, so there.
No,
we're waiting for them to come, and you don't know how long it's going to take them to get there.
They may be on the road like the translator was yesterday. Tiny Piggy, thank you for the $5. You're on the Florida Hot Mess Express.
Hot Mess Express.
Afternoon, Nate.
Did you hear that, Amber?
I'm so sorry. I couldn't comprehend. Can you say that one more time?
That's okay. I just want you to make sure you heard that. Your mother's not saying you can't stay with her. Your mother's saying you can't stay with her unless you're stable. They want to make sure you're stable, you're on your medication. So they want the doctor or someone to make sure that you're doing everything you need to do and you're stable. And then once that happens, you very well may have a place to stay with her. Okay? So you may be stabilized. You may be at your mother's home with your children, and you and he are.
Brian said she said that they wouldn't give her any, which I think is kind of a common thing.
Well, she said one script needed to be picked up. That's $70. The other script is somewhere in her room.
Amber, that's right. I didn't hear the first part. I did hear her say the room though. Okay.
Yeah, Amber is a mess. Amber, get it together.
Get it
correct.
Parents and his mother work out the visitation issues. You have any other questions, Ms.
somewhere
Warren?
else to go. I have somewhere else to go. I can go to my brother's house.
Other
There's
husband.
Plenty of room for me to sleep because I'm not taking the kids from their home. They don't want to sleep at their grandma's house. They don't want to sleep at their nana's house. They want their own beds. So, and my daughter has a lot of struggles and she needs her home. And so we will figure out the best way to kind of avoid each other so that we can both back and forth, whatever we got to do. But I'm not taking them kids out of that home. I'll go sleep at my brother's house. I'm not going to my mama's house.
Okay. Well, the kids aren't staying in the home, not supervised.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Well, I mean, one's 17, one's 12.
Yeah.
Then they won't
Well,
be
a 12-year-old's not
unsupervised.
staying in the home,
Dylan's
not
there.
supervised by an adult, regardless of what you
Dylan's
want.
there all the time.
So
He'll be
we'll see
there.
what happens with the bond, okay? Have a good day, ma'am.
You too, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
We accomplished nothing.
Not really. Yeah.
If they both want contact, we'll cross that bridge as early as next week.
Come
But I need to have a cooling off period and make sure they both want it.
Oh
If
God.
neither of them, if either one of them doesn't want contact, it's not gonna happen. If both of them want contact, we'll get them both in court, put it on the record, make sure they're doing it voluntarily, and then consider it. And obviously I have to give the state a chance to have input too. Okay? Thank you.
Wow. We're just gonna let them get back together. Why not?
You do have friends or family here on Dean Shores.
Not bad. Thank you for that info, by the way.
That is great insight. Thank you
And I
so
know
much.
someone else is family and his wife is here. And your relationship, ma'am? Friend? Mr. Shores, your wife is here and also a friend of the family is here.
At least I was watching Middleton a little bit today, just because Fridays typically Meg shows up.
Oh, she was making such great faces today.
I saw some classic Meg today too. It was great. She's a one of a kind, our old Meg there.
I love Meg.
It's a one count of battery on a firefighter or EMT or police officer, one count of assault on a law enforcement officer, and one count of resisting an officer with violence. Mr. Shores, I've read the complaint. There is probable cause for all three charges. And sir, I got a couple of questions for you.
Davenport, thank you.
I've got shows
very quickly to the main channel, Credence and Mikey show, members only, 5:30 East. You've heard us tease it all week, and now I'm nervous because to live up to its expectations.
Creed is so nervous he called it the Credence and Mikey show. Yes, make sure you're there at 5:30 today.
I'm used to adding show things.
His show is over, baby.
Add show to yours, Mikey. Cool.
Please put show Mikey show Court Cam TV. Can you put Mikey People's Court Cam TV?
Yes, and then a YT at the end of it just for shits and giggles.
It's just for fun. A huge show for you. If you're looking to have a good time tonight, you need to forget your troubles. You just want to laugh. Make sure you come and hang out with me and Cree tonight. We really would appreciate it. 5:30 Eastern time, members only. Still time to join, wouldn't you? Shall you? Can you?
I never understand that. Why you just want to see top messages? You're in a live chat. You want to see what's going on. It's the same thing. Listen, same thing as the bullshit with Facebook that just shows
comments.
Stuff that you could care less about. It's just so annoying. So annoying.
No prior history, and that is certainly possible, but that's unusual to see someone with no prior history have these charges. So my question for you is that criminal history accurate?
Yes.
Have you ever been charged with a crime anywhere?
No, sir.
Nowhere, correct?
Well, at least you went big on this one, beating up police officers and EMTs.
The other thing is, it appears you work at Porter Construction. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I started 2 weeks ago.
You got a felony charge, and the assault on a law enforcement officer will be bumped up to a first-degree misdemeanor. Is that right, Mr.
Feel better, Sally.
Get well.
Enhanced by 1 degree, and resisting an officer with violence is a third-degree felony. So you've got 2 third-degree felonies and 1 misdemeanor charge. Mr. McDaniel, anything else I need to know on behalf of Mr. Shores?
I think you have it all, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Brimmer.
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Shores, I'm not inclined to give you a conditional release even without any history because of the type of charge you're accused of and because of the allegations in the complaint, but I am inclined to set you what I think is maybe a lower bond than normal because you have no criminal history. So the question, Mr. McDaniel, becomes, would he prefer a cash bond or a typical surety bond?
Thank you, Mikey.
I changed that. I didn't even notice it.
All right. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to set, because of your lack of any history, can you or he post a $750 cash bond, you think, ma'am?
That's it?
Wow.
You think you can post 500?
Assaulting
Ms. Brimmer, any objection to a cash bond amount of $500 total?
No, Your Honor.
Were we just playing Let's Make a Deal?
Mr. Shores and Mr. McDaniel,
Sounds it.
The battery on the law enforcement will be a $250
500.
assault on law enforcement officers would be 100.
Knock myself out. I was just gonna say I saw an ad for a new Let's Make a Deal Island. I think it's called Let's Make a Deal Island or something like that. Like, yeah.
Anytime something's in trouble, you just slap Island on the end of
Right.
it. Just wait for Credence and Mikey Island. It's going to be great.
Island Show. Credence and Mikey
Island Show.
Get it right.
$50 cash bond. The resisting officer with violence would be actually, I've got them backwards. The battery would be a $250. The resisting officer would be $150. And the assault on law enforcement officer, the misdemeanor, would be $100.
Do you hear
That's
a headboard
cash
like
bond of $500 cash bond? Cash bonds are posted at the jail, ma'am. The good thing about a cash bond is, let's say the cases are dismissed. If that were to happen, the money's returned to whoever posted the cash bond. If they're not dismissed, under Florida law, the money's taken and applied towards court costs and fines. So it's typically better than giving money to a bondsman because that money is the bondsman's fee for getting them out of jail. So
members only Island Show.
$500. You take $500 cash
Tonight.
to the jail, and he'll be released. I don't have the authority to drug test him, but I can tell you that his behavior in the complaint that's described in the complaint is not consistent with a man of his age with no prior history, which makes me wonder if there's a drug abuse issue. There may not be, but
Judge, if it makes you feel more comfortable, he'll take a drug test right now. I mean,
I will.
I mean,
I don't think that's going to hurt. It's not going to affect my decision today, but it may be something that the state can use to determine if he needs any help on probation, any kind of drug treatment. So if you want to voluntarily take a drug test, the jail will let you do that, Mr. Shores. And you've got the right to post the bond in the meantime while you're waiting for that to come through. Mr. Shores, do you have any questions?
No, sir, Your Honor.
Ladies in the courtroom, any questions? Since you take $500 cash to the jail, the clerk of court will hold it until we see how the case is resolved, okay?
Party time.
All right. Have a good day, Mr. Shores.
Yes, sir, you too.
No, not without a drug charge. It's got to be related to a charge.
Almost all three of those
Some
men,
nexus.
including the judge, all have the same haircut.
Yeah, no, that's not, no, in my opinion.
The oldest guy in the room's got the best head of hair.
I was just gonna say.
Sex offender and one kind of
Oh.
falsifying sexual offender registration.
Another
Mr.
Baldy.
Fay, there is probable cause for the charge. And it appears you have had a similar charge in another state in the past. I'm not familiar with their criminal punishment code or their
Lock them up.
their charges in this state, but there was a sex offender registration charge in the past in another state, which obviously makes me concerned. Let's see if I can find that. Yes, sir.
I was in another state of Tennessee and I had moved to another address. And me and my brother had got into a fist fight, and that messed my registry up there.
Yeah, it was
I
in
was-
April, less than a year
Yes,
ago, you
yes,
were
sir.
charged
How
about.
does just simply having a fight with somebody?
That definitely keeps you as a registered offender.
Maybe he got into a fist fight and had to move out or something.
Yeah, and claiming
registered
that's
it.
why he was staying somewhere he wasn't registered.
All right.
He was in Tennessee. By the way, I love his little tiny note he's reading off of. Either he's reading off of that or he just opened a pack of bazooka gum and wanted to read the comic really fast.
Tiny Piggy 5 on the main channel. And I heard they're already setting up in the truck. We got an island
We got an island's coming. Just get ready.
on YouTube, so get ready.
Sex offender registry in Tennessee.
We
So,
resolved
Mr.
that,
Fay,
they dropped the charges.
okay. Mr. Fay, the point is that you know the importance of
Is he
complying
defending
with
himself?
the registry more so than perhaps some other people do because you've been charged with that before.
Yes.
And now you've got the same charge or a similar
Can
charge
I
here in the
ask you
state
a
of
question,
Florida.
sir, Your Honor?
Let me finish, and then I'll
Okay.
give you a chance to
Okay.
ask any questions. You're not a conditional release candidate with this charge and that history, but you're entitled to a bond. Let me see if the attorneys have any additional information before I address your bond. Mr. McDaniel?
No, Your Honor.
I don't want nothing to do with this guy.
Mr. Fay, your bond's gonna be $5,000 in each charge. It's cash or surety. Surety means you don't have to come up with all the money. You can go through a bondsman. That's what a surety bond is. So in just a few minutes, you're going to get to use the phone. If you go through a bondsman, and if they charge you 10%, that'd be $1,000 to get out of jail. They may charge you more. They may charge you less because of your history, but that's entirely between you and them. but your bond is $10,000 cash or surety. Mr. Fay, please don't talk about your charges, but if you have a question, and if it's a question I can answer, I will try to. Any questions?
List.
Can you get your ass out of my face, please? Thank you. I don't mind cats coming and saying hey, but when it's the ass is just
You're trying to fart in your mouth.
On my bond, could I go back to Mississippi or because I was moving to this address? This is the official address that I was moving to.
Thank you, Kylie. Welcome.
He's dying, so we had to clean the house out.
There is no condition that you stay in Florida. So if you post bond, yes, sir, you can go wherever you wish. You just got to comply with that state's sex offender registry laws, whatever state it is.
Your Honor, I have no problem abiding by the law. I haven't broke the law in over 20 years almost, except that one mistake in Tennessee. I have no intentions of breaking the law no more. I didn't try to break no law this time.
How do you end up in Florida?
I come help my aunt.
Okay. You'll be released. Okay.
All right. So what is my condition?
10,000.
He's done. I love that the lawyer didn't want anything to do with that.
I know. He's
I
like,
believe the only
nope.
case we have left is Tavanis Clopton.
Yes, sir.
Another bald man. It's bald headed man day.
What it is.
A couple of issues. You're here in case 21-378 CT. In that case, you've already pled and been sentenced to the charge of expired driver's license more than 6 months to 10 days in jail. We just got to figure out your credit for that case. That sentence has already been imposed. Mr. McDaniel, have you had a chance to look at how much credit he has so we can be on the same page on that?
Yeah, he has 4 days jail credit.
So we're going to make sure the jail shows 4 days credit on that 10-day sentence. That's already there. It's a done deal. New charges. Yes, you're accused of 1 count of resisting an officer with violence and 1 count of driving while license suspended or revoked knowingly. There is probable cause for those charges. I think you're entitled to a bond on those charges. So let me hear from the state and defense and see if they agree with that. And if so, I'm going to set you a bond on those charges. Mr. McDaniel, anything on behalf of Mr.
He's like, hey, man, shut up.
Connor,
Dude's really good on the
obviously
mute.
Resisting without violence. I read over. I didn't see a whole lot that was with violence, but with that said, if the court determines there is enough there, then we would accept that. The driving license suspended, revoked. His licenses are expired. I don't see anything that would show that they will be revoked. I know there'd be a difference between second degree misdemeanor bond and first degree. So I was going to make that, Your Honor.
He's short, but I bet you he can fight.
Ms. Bremer.
Your Honor, the complaint did say that the defendant was combative and that he engaged in shoving. With regard to the driver's license charge, the state has no objection to a second degree.
Mr. Clopton, the statute for resisting with violence says resisting with violence or threat of violence. And this is certainly not, I don't see the actual violence. I do see allegations of threat of violence. The bigger problem is I consider you a flight risk because you have been sentenced and you were told to come back to court and ask for an extension if you needed it. You didn't show back up in court, and now we finally get you back 2 or 3 years later. So I'm going to set your bond at $10,000 on
2 or 3 years later.
Damn.
Resisting an officer with violence. I'm going to set your bond at $2,500 on the driver license suspended or revoked charge. Your bond is $12,500, Mr. Clopton. Your bond has a condition that you not drive a motor vehicle. So if you post bond, you'll be released.
Sally, I hope it's better than the last dude. His story.
His story was very creepy.
But Mr. Clopton, I have a concern that if you do get out, I'm not going to see you again for 2 or 3 years. So that's why your bond is what it is. You have the right to use the phone in just a few minutes, sir. You don't have to come up with all $12,500, Mr. Clopton. You can go through a bondsman. That's what a surety bond is. It's a cash or surety bond, and you'll get to use the phone in just a few minutes. Mr. Clopton, do you have any questions?
No, sir. No questions, Your Honor.
Have a good day, sir.
Jeez, he went on the run, son. He said, look, I'll be back to court when I'm ready.
Mr. McDaniel, we had an add-on.
Hey, this is an add-on.
Is this Mr. White?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is State versus David White. Mr. White, good morning, sir. You entered a plea to the charge of driving while license suspended or revoked knowingly back on November 6th.
I saw that.
You were sentenced to 10 days in jail.
Best 2.5 seconds ever.
As long as you paid court costs and fines of $300 by January 8th. My understanding is that you got out of jail, was going to pay it, but then you got arrested on new charges and may even have a hold in another county.
Yep.
So we're trying to clean up this other case. And if you want to just convert it to 10 days in jail, which essentially is what you were sentenced to without a fine,
There
then
you go.
I'm going to consider that possibility. So let me first put the states oppose that. So he's got the 10 days or pay the fine, but it appears he cannot pay the fine because he's being held. Corporal, does he still have a hold for another county also?
Thanks, Lisa.
Yes, sir, he does.
Good morning, Mr. Lemon. So, Ms. Bremer, is there any objection just changing it to a 10-day jail sentence and a civil judgment on the fine?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. McDaniel, if you talk to Mr. White about that possibility, we need to clean this up somehow since he can't pay it. At least I'm assuming you can't since he's in
Just
jail.
serve the 10 days. I mean, I thought we had resolved this. I thought I let the court know a while back.
Yes.
But, I mean, he's just gonna serve the 10 days because he's not gonna be able to make the bond.
Okay, Ms. Williams. Yeah, I think she came to me and I said, let's wait and deal with it after the due date because there's always a possibility he'll postpone in the new cases and he hasn't been able to. So, Mr. White, if you want to just change this to 10 days in jail, that's what I'm going to do. You'll be given credit for the time you've done on this charge, not for the time you've done on other charges. I don't know that you have any credit, but at least this case will be over with. There'll be a civil judgment for the fine if you don't get it worked off. Mr. White, is that what you want to do? You want to change this to just a 10-day jail sentence?
Do it.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to enter amended disposition. Mr. White still show the same plea of no contest, the same adjudication of guilt. I judged him guilty. That's unusual. No, Judge Costello adjudged him guilty. Okay, that explains it. So to be adjudged guilty, that nothing changes on that. It's just 10 days in jail, civil judgment on the fine, the amount of $300. Doesn't have any credit.
They're in Florida.
Mr. White, you'll be through with this case in 9 or 10 days. This case will be over with. You still got your other more serious cases to deal with. Mr. White, do you have any questions?
After I do these 10 days in jail, I was planning to bond out in February. Okay.
This will not prevent you from posting bond. It will prevent you from posting bond for the next 10 days. But once the 10 days are done, you have the right to post bond and you don't have to pay this. That's the good thing about getting it over with. It's done.
Shadow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wish you the best, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. McDaniel, that's everything I had on my list. Anything else?
Was a little
office this morning.
dense.
A little slow.
Speaking of dense, we're heading to Lady Slightly Dense.
Oh, God. Oh, boy.
Yeah, good morning.
Long hair.
For you is Michaela Fed in 2 cases, 2399.
Beautiful hair.
In this case, Your Honor, we've negotiated to an impasse. At this point, there's certain concessions Ms. Fed needs or is requiring, and those concessions the state's not willing to make. So as I explained to her, that's what a jury's for. So we'll just set this on a jury trial, Your Honor.
Okay, what we'll do.
I've got February. I've already got at least one, maybe two. We can do it in April.
I'm thinking April.
Okay.
So what we'll do. You got a question, Ms. Fed?
Yes, sir. There is, it's like, could I do like 5 years probation and anything to let me be like the PTI so I don't end up a felon? I'm 22 and that's my biggest thing. Just, I will do probation for like, it doesn't matter how long, just to end up not being a felon. I don't want a title on me the rest of my life.
I don't get involved with plea negotiations. That's between your attorney and the state. And a PTI, that's something completely up to the state attorney's office, whether or not they want to allow you into their intervention program. I don't get involved in that at all. If you want me to sentence you, what I'm looking at.
By the way, the mouth is not going to sync up in a few minutes.
What?
The mouths will not sync up. You'll notice.
Oh,
it's them. They have an audio issue there, and you'll see a slight, just pretend it's radio, kind of.
Actually, I'm glad you said so because that would annoy me.
The problem with that, Your Honor, is if you sentence her, it will be to a plea of fleeing and attempting to elude. That is by statute.
Is that a second degree?
It is, but by statute, you have to adjudicate her. That's what I told her. It would be against the law for you not to adjudicate her as a felony.
I don't know anything about you, but the law is the law. And if the law tells me that I have to adjudicate you guilty based on the charges, I'll have to adjudicate you guilty. I can't make any exceptions not to apply the law. So
what about the no contact? We have been together the last 5 years. We work as a team every day.
That's with her co-defendant. And again, as far as I know, the state's not moving from that.
every day in the same house,
They have children.
taking care of our 1 and 2-year-old children.
What?
I didn't hear anything, Nancy. Did you, Mikey? Did you see anything about that?
I have not seen anything about that.
Any updates on that?
Nothing yet. If I hear anything, though, Nancy will be first one. I like that her and the co-defendant are still hanging out every day. They're partners.
Right.
They
Yeah.
got babies.
That wasn't one of the things that was asked, I don't think, but. It was definitely asked.
Okay, so it would be peaceful
Judge,
contact.
if I could put something on the record.
Yes.
as well. Judge, Mr. Wilson has worked very hard on this case. He's talked to me about this case probably more than any other case he's had, Your Honor. So I wanted to be sure that was on the record. There's been a lot of concessions given, and we got to the point where no more. So I'll give Ms. Fed a little time this morning if she wants to speak to Mr. Wilson, but the plea offer as it stands is it, or it's being taken off the table today.
So did I hear you right that you were willing to do a peaceful contact with Mr. Clemens? That may tilt us in the right direction, Your Honor. Let me talk with Ms. Ms. Fed, and maybe we can resolve this today after all.
Yeah, Ms. Fed, I'm looking at the information. That's a second-degree felony. If
So
you
there's
want,
no way I'm gonna get out of this any type of way without a felony.
no. What I'm saying is, Mr. Wilson and Ms. Smith can negotiate a resolution. You can go to trial and let a jury decide whether or not you committed these offenses, or the state can prove that you committed these offenses. And you ask the question, can I sentence you? I'm looking at the information. If I sentence you, it's a second.
Northwest is making this like a pop-up video. Watch it on a VH1. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for the info. I love that.
Good stuff.
felony, and I have to adjudicate you guilty. Not saying that I have to send you to prison. I'm not sure what your
I'm
score
gonna
sheet
have
is,
that
but
felony title regardless.
but
There's no way.
if I sentence you based on this, you're gonna be a convicted felon.
Well, either way, it seems like I'm gonna be a convicted felon.
I don't know what the plea offer is.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to see if I can do like 5 years of PTI, where you do, so don't end up a felon.
I can't say yay and nay on the PTI. That's up to the state.
That's not the offer they've made. That's what I was trying to tell you. The judge can't do that. So I've changed this to peaceful contact with both these people. And it's otherwise what we discussed. If you don't want to do that, we can put you on trial.
She won't even let me do 6 years of probation to not be a felon
That's
anymore.
up to
Ma'am,
6
she won't
years.
let you do anything else. That's it. She just told me you got.
My hands are tied.
There's nothing you can do.
That's it.
She's
No.
wheeling and dealing.
Trying
So I
to
will not have
anyways.
this felony title on me for the rest of my
You
life.
need to talk to your attorney, but you do not qualify for PTI. That's the offer.
Take or leave it, baby.
And it's gonna be worse if I go to trial.
Fleeing and beating up elderly, I believe.
Well, you can always be found not. Man, let's step. There's people trying to work.
Ready, Mr. Peters?
I'm ready, Your Honor. I got Willie Hill.
Come on, woman. There's people trying to work.
Right.
Mr. Hill, how you doing, sir?
Pretty good.
Judge, he's here in the sale of methamphetamine, 22-203.
So they're gonna go talk.
Felony punishable
Yeah.
by 15 years, and the sale of meth within 1,000 feet of a park. 22.
Yeah, let's not forget that. She had a plea deal on the table, but she walks right up pretending that she has no idea what that is because she just wants 5 years of probation.
She doesn't want to be a felon, and she doesn't understand that even no matter, she'd have to be completely exonerated for that to happen.
Right?
There's no way that even going to trial that they can say, well, we'll patch it on down to this and this. You know, it's just not happening. And she's still hanging out with her co-defendant.
Right. And then then she says, well, I'm about 6. And then she goes, well, what about 100? Dorothy, welcome.
Welcome, Dorothy. Glad you're here.
That is a great last name.
Yeah, it is.
Of last name.
You have a big penis?
202.
Not you,
So
Dorothy.
First degree punishable by
Wasn't
30
for you.
years in prison. And there's an understanding with the state is that he'll enter his plea of guilty. He'll be adjudicated, sentenced to 36 months Department of Corrections. Be concurrent with any other sentence. Court costs and fines will be imposed.
Miss Kate, thank you. 5 more joining us for the big members only at 5:30 East on Credence and Mikey
Show.
.com.
20 various other cases will be consolidated into 22-202, including 22-191, and the state will also consolidate a Bay County case, which is a grand theft of motor vehicle 22-462. So I've gone over the plea with Mr. Hill. I believe he understands it and is prepared to enter it. He has signed it and understands that this will
We will
send
see
him off
more
to the
of
state
her.
prison system. We'd ask for a recommendation of base the act.
Yes, sir.
What days did you spend in jail?
She's out saying the same thing over and over again, and her
27 days.
lawyer keeps telling her the same thing over and over again.
You could write that in 27 days.
Because most of them hate us.
All right, Mr.
Sally.
Hill, you raise your right hand for me, sir.
So just passing through.
Sir, would you tell me your name, your age, and your highest level of education?
Willie Hill, and I'm 27.
You have a big penis?
All right, you can put your hand down. Mr. Hill, did you hear the announcement by Mr. Peters about how we're going to resolve all your cases here in Gulf County and Bay County?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone promised you anything other than what was stated here in open court? Has anyone threatened or coerced you in any way to get you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Have you had a sufficient amount of time to speak with Mr. Peters?
Yes, sir.
Do you need additional time to speak with Mr. Peters? And are you satisfied with the services?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication, sir? That's a no.
No, sir.
What do you think about Mr.
All right.
Peters'
You understand
haircut?
By entering this plea, you're waiving your right to a trial by jury,
Yes, sir.
and you're waiving your right to appeal anything other than an illegal sentence.
Yes, sir.
And your understanding of the plea is that you're going to resolve all your cases with 36 months of DOC with 27 days jail credit.
Oof.
You agree with the 27 days jail credit? Mr. Peters, Ms. Smith, you're waiving exculpatory
A whole
DNA.
27 days, huh?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hill, I'm going to accept your plea as known, intelligent, and voluntarily entered into. I'm going to find there's a factual basis based on my review of the complaint affidavits and the information in these cases, sir. In case number 22-202-CF and 22-191-CF and 22-203-CF. Sir, you'll be
You know, I'm looking for the crease marks. I think it just came out of the cellophane packaging. I'm pretty
You
sure.
put that on right before you came in. Fresh
No,
new
you-
shirt for going to prison for 36 months.
Miss K, 10 Bones, thank you. I want to thank each and every one who has sent messages to me over the last few days. Mikey, thank you personally for reaching out. You guys are truly family of great people.
Anytime.
Thank you, Miss K.
Guilty in 22-CF-203 of selling methamphetamine. And 22-CF-202, you'll be adjudicated guilty of selling methamphetamine within 1,000 feet of a church, school.
Oh my
or park.
goodness.
You'll be sentenced to 36 months in the Florida Department of Corrections. They'll run concurrent with one another. You have court costs and fines. Ms. Tony, do we have that ready?
Feel better, Cole.
Yes, ma'am.
Hate that.
If you'd only been selling meth somewhere other than within the distance of a church,
Yes.
school, or whatever else it was, daycare, you wouldn't be doing 36 months, Daddy.
All right, in case number
Got a little credit, though.
22-CF-202, you have
27
court
days.
costs and fines in the amount of $955. They will be reduced to a civil judgment. In case number 22-CF-203, you have court costs and fines in the amount of $1,165. And Mr. Peters, you waive my reading of discretionary costs and fines?
I do.
Mr. Hill, again, you have 27 days jail credit. I know you and Mr. Peters just discussed that. Does that sound accurate to you?
Yes, sir.
And that's the amount of days you spend in jail before you bond down in these cases?
Yes, sir.
Sir, case numbers 22-CF-191 will be consolidated into case number 22-CF-202. The state will also consolidate Bay County case number 22-CF-4622. All the counts in that will be consolidated into this information. And this
Do you take
is,
Bitcoin?
I would have helped, but he wrote on all
and that you have the right
Google
to
Play
disclosure
cards.
of a confidential informant, but you're waiving that right for this to accept this plea offer. Yeah,
Must be getting really bad if we're going on some random live stream.
Yeah.
While you're standing at the gas station.
Hey, I know nobody knows me here, and well, I'm going to take a real long shot.
Right. I know I've never been here before. People don't know me.
Nobody knows me
Caps and you know. I wonder if it works though. I do. I wonder.
I guarantee it works. He wouldn't be doing it if it didn't. Somebody sends money some point in times.
Yes. Here's the other thing. Very hard to actually connect with somebody through a live stream, like to the point where, you know,
like we were going to be, oh my God.
Oh my God. Wow. Let me help you. I mean, listen, if you really are stuck, I'm sorry to joke on you if that's a real thing, but I don't.
Let's call 911.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Speaking of 911,
I'm on it.
gas money in the PP, baby. That's how you do it.
That's the
Thank
way
you
you
very
do
much.
it.
Hope you feel better. And that train probably didn't help with the migraine, but I hope that's
Somebody wrote the other day, I love you guys. I love everything you do. Can we bring the hallelujah down a little bit? It scares me every time.
It does. That's the point. It's only Mikey's that's really loud. Just kidding. Mine's loud all the time.
Questions for me?
Amazon
All right,
girl.
Mr. Hill, best of luck to you, sir. You got 30 days from today to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you.
There you
Best
go.
of luck to you, sir.
Recommend BCI to the department.
Yes, and I will recommend Bay CI.
And the last one I have is Mr. Ash.
Nancy. Amazon girl.
Oh, no, this minute.
Is he bringing the hip hop back? Nice.
Bringing it back.
You just can't trust anybody anymore. But I mean, just the fact of coming on a random,
Mr. Ash,
YouTube
good morning,
live
sir.
ass is just funny.
Yeah. I know you're innocent until proven guilty, but I'm gonna let you know I was very disappointed
Uh-oh.
over the break when I received emails every day of folks that were in custody who were arrested. When I saw your name appear at the top of that list, I was disappointed in you. You don't have to say
Hunker
anything
down,
else.
Dave.
Don't go out with your children.
Mr. Peters, what we're gonna do in Mr. Ash's case?
We'd like to set him for probably March. He's got apparently a new charge, that's going to come up, and the state hasn't processed it yet.
Judge, if we could just put all these cases on the February arraignment docket, Judge.
Been a long time.
and
Been a long time.
cases, or will be in front of you, Your Honor, and that way, we'll either have a resolution, they can all back together, if that's okay with Your Honor.
Yes, I believe that would be February 6th, maybe.
I'm not going to be in the country on that day, and I'm
Okay.
got some traveling on board.
Are you gonna represent him on the new case?
Welcome,
Mr.
Bobby.
Peters? Okay, so he'll just waive arraignment anyway.
Okay, all right.
Just an arraignment.
No, just saying, if you're gonna represent him, you'll likely just enter a plea of not guilty and waive arraignment anyway.
Thank you, Chris.
So we'll just,
About the is that 3/6 or 3/6?
Yeah, 3/6
It's like
is when I'm
3/6.
coming back.
okay, is that the day you're coming back? The day works?
Yep.
All right, so Mr. Ash, we'll see you on March 6th at 1:30.
Is that just an unfortunate outfit?
All right, thank you,
All right,
Judge.
thank you, Mr. Peters.
Or is he incarcerated? I can't
That's
tell.
it's a great question because it's covering both.
Ms. Tanya, I saw one of your colleagues.
Oh, he's handcuffed. Never mind.
Okay. All right, no, that's the real deal.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson. I forgot you need to get out of here.
Oh, okay. Okay, Rod.
After that,
Okay,
So sorry.
the state was allowing peaceful contact.
okay.
I want to hear the instructions the judge is giving. That he says to every single person that's up there.
He's good. Hey, look who's back.
And back with
Lovely.
Michaela Fed, again, in case numbers 2399 and 23100. In 2399, Ms. Fed will be pleading, it'll be no contest, but she will be, as we discussed, adjudicated guilty. She's pleading to count 1, the fleeing and eluding, which is a second-degree felony. Count 2, the resisting without violence, that will be consolidated. Count 3, the possession of paraphernalia, should be pleading to that case as well. Then in 23100, it was originally charged as a felony battery over 65. She'll be pleading to the misdemeanor battery. So that is now a first-degree misdemeanor. She should do 2 years of community, again, she's adjudicated. She should do 2 years of community control with curfew and ankle monitor, followed by 2 years of regular probation.
I didn't get the ankle monitor part.
Oh shit.
She didn't like that. Look at him just look away.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
He just looks away.
Who's gonna hire me?
This is your
Being a
life.
felon with ankle monitor.
Yeah, can we get a trial date?
I want to go.
Okay, all
time to talk. You want?
all that we
Mhm.
just went through.
Mhm.
He's like, hey, we're taking this, we're doing this, this, and this ankle monitor. And she says, ankle monitor. Oh no.
He just looks the other way. In
Yeah.
disgust. He just looks the other way.
They made a complete new deal. And now she's backing out of it yet again.
Which obviously, I'm sure at this point, right, the new deal must be a little bit better, or maybe even a lot better. And she's already
We'll come back.
I was told that she is now probably a minute over the deadline she had to accept this offer.
Monitor for how many?
Judge, at this time, the state withdraws that plea offer that was just read out by Mr. Wilson and requested trial date.
They just pulled it. They just pulled the deal.
Ms. Fed, do you need some time to talk to Mr. Wilson? The state looks like they want to pull this off the table.
Well, congrats, Nancy. Getting that done.
You can accept the state's offer. These are your options, Ms. Fed.
Can I ask you personally, which one do you think is gonna be worse?
Ma'am,
Do you think it's gonna end up way worse for me?
I can't predict I can't predict the future. I'm not sure what a jury's gonna do. I don't know
I
anything.
need to law school.
Ms. Fed,
At
listen,
this
ma'am.
point.
Ms. Fed, listen. I don't know anything about the facts of your case other than what I've read in the complaint affidavit. So other than what the police said, that's the only thing I know. You have a good lawyer.
It's coming by.
You go to trial.
It's right there. 10 bones, Creed.
The times before, he knows exactly what he's doing. I don't know what a jury would do.
Oh, you forgot to tell me. That's what it was.
It was kind of a crucial moment in the case.
Oh, that's true. Cole.
Hallelujah. 10 bones.
Owen.
Big PP.
That's one option. The second option is to accept the state's offer. What will happen? I'll ask you some questions to verify this is exactly what you want to do, that you're doing so willingly, no one's twisting your arm, that you know what you're doing, and I'll accept that. The third option is you can reject the state's offer, say you don't want to go to trial, and you can say, Judge Collier, sentence me. Again, I don't know anything about your background. I don't know anything about you. I can tell you with the information that's charged, you have a second-degree felony, and the law in the state of Florida is I cannot withhold adjudication on a second-degree felony. So I will adjudicate you guilty. You'll be a convicted felon. The other conditions, whether or not I send you to prison or probation, I don't know. I'll tell you, the last time someone appeared before me with a high-speed reckless flit or attempting to elude, I'll just say this, he's not home, and he ain't coming home for maybe another 6 years or so.
Oh!
Not to say that's going to happen to you. I don't know.
So it's serious. It's a very serious matter.
It is very serious.
Okay.
She just realized that right now?
Second.
I kind of feel that. Yeah. I mean, the attitude when she walked in was.
So it's the 2 years community control with.
Thinking it was going to be easy.
He keeps looking. He looked back and I guess she said, go ahead, give her the deal.
The prosecutor.
Yeah.
There is nothing else. And everyone in this courtroom is waiting on us. We're
He's
acting
so
like a couple
embarrassed.
fools up here.
Oh, wow.
No, you're fine.
But he's right.
Yeah, make him look bad.
What is the angle under gonna help me?
Miss Fed, don't talk to me anymore. You're represented by counsel.
This is inappropriate.
But y'all want to come back? Will you leave that open till tomorrow? No? Okay.
Did you not take it with? Come on, what is the angle under gonna do?
How I can't get involved in plea negotiations. That's Ms. Smith. Ms. Fed is asking that you remove the ankle monitor. The answer, the state said no.
That's right.
Okay, it's on the record. No.
Okay. I wear the ankle monitor. Cute, Dura.
Court costs and fines, restitution that says to be determined. There was no damage that I know of, but there could be investigative costs. I don't know. $100 of public service, cost of supervision, drug and alcohol evaluation and counseling is recommended. Zero tolerance. DMV may apply additional penalties. Time served on the misdemeanors. DNA sample testified truthfully against Ricardo Clemens. No, only peaceful contact with Deborah Williams and Ricardo Clemens. Count 2 is resisting an officer without violence is consolidated. I believe I already read that into the record. Is that your understanding of the plea, Madam Prosecutor?
I'll try to get through this.
Sounds like a good deal.
Raise your right hand for me.
I'm trying to get through this.
Except, what am I supposed to say?
On the word from the testify, you shall give me the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So,
Ms. Fed, is this what you want to do, ma'am?
No.
Okay.
It's what I gotta do.
No, it's not what you got to do. If this is not what you want to do, I can't accept your plea.
She just said
I
no.
don't understand why I'm gonna be a felon. I'm gonna be a felon, obviously.
Yes.
So what does the angle monitor do?
That's not the case. You can always go to a jury trial, and I can tell you, listen, I've been in trials that I thought a jury's going to come back with a guilty verdict. They come back not guilty. I've been in trials that I think they're going to come back not guilty. They come back guilty. You never know.
So you're telling me I could take it to trial and still end up not being a felon. There's a chance that I could get out of this without being a felon.
You can go to
And there's a
trial.
chance you
The
go
state
get
will have
6
the burden to
years
prove the case
also.
against you. Mr. Wilson will stand up, cross-examine.
I'm in trial.
Okay.
I'm in trial.
Okay, I think
She just backed out again, like
Ms.
6
Fed is actually
times.
she doesn't even want to accept this. I don't think it'll be known, intelligent, and voluntarily entered into, even if I
understand,
accepted
Your
it.
Honor. That's kind of what I
I
thought
like
we
it.
should have.
So what we're gonna do?
I'll make it work for myself.
But we're not saying you're gonna make it worse for yourself. That's a right
Oh,
that
wow.
you have. You never know what's gonna happen. So what we're gonna do? Ms. Fed, we're gonna place you on the April trial docket. That's 4/15, and we're gonna come back. Y'all gonna come back in March 8th.
Judge, there's, the plea's off the table. There's no need, Judge. We can just put her on the April trial management and April trial. Just,
I don't have an April trial management. That's all.
okay. That'll be fine.
Wow.
March 8th.
And I was gonna start putting the trial managements the month before.
Look how she keeps looking back at the prosecutor.
Because usually we fill up that trial docket to give the state and the defense.
Do you think she's legit like waiting for the prosecutor to say, all right, no ankle monitor. You just take the plea. It's fine.
Yeah, like she mean mugging her, like she's gonna change her mind. She's not changing her mind. This isn't gonna work. No matter how many times you say you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. It's not gonna change anything, lady.
I mean, the judge laid it out to her about what could happen if you go to trial.
Hey, Paula.
And she's just kind of thinking,
yeah, she acts like, oh, well, that's not what I want to do. I want to do this. It doesn't work that way, lady. I hope she gets jail time. I really do.
It sounds like, and again, those of you who have arrived late, she apparently allegedly beat up on some elderly, somebody
and then,
else,
like,
and then
fleed at a very high speed chase.
Wow. Yeah, and she keeps looking back at the prosecutor like she's going to change something.
Poor lawyer. Oh, they'll eat her alive in a trial. Are you kidding me? The prosecutor will eat her up. She's already pissed.
That's a big fumble. Think about how many times she said no to that. I don't know.
Can't see exactly what's going to go to trial. So we'll we'll place you on the 4/15 trial docket. We'll bring you back March 8th at 9:30 for trial management.
After my birthday.
That's right. It's a birthday miracle for Mikey. Can we remember that?
Please. She's what's she writing down?
I mean, that's literally 5 days before my birthday.
Literally
showtime on an island for my birthday.
All right, Mr. Just make sure you stay in contact with Mr. Wilson.
Wow.
Will they let her keep all that hair in prison?
Or may not be what you want. He's a good attorney. Stay in contact with him because you're going to be in trial.
You're going to need it.
No, that dude's done. He's not going to do it. Look at him. The way he keeps looking away in disgust. He's looking at it like, what did you do?
The battery, every charge will be on trial, right?
That's correct. You'll be facing
So
everything. There'll be no amendments.
But we wouldn't try them both together. So, but the state would choose. But right now, you're charged with aggravated battery on a person over 65.
Exactly, and that's what's scaring me.
And the state will basically decide whether or not to take that to trial or take the fleeing or attempting to elude the trial. And we'll talk about that in March.
So y'all will decide to take it to trial?
No, you have two different cases. And the state.
I would too.
We're not going to try both cases during the same week. So the state will.
Are we creed framing for some reason at the hour mark?
I told you they having issues there with their cameras. You can't get her to understand Creed. Basically, she's going to get smashed. It's going to happen. It's not.
And just like Cellulite Yoga Pants just said, imagine the victim impact statement. How that's going to go over.
And she talked about, well, I'm kind of worried about that one charge.
Well,
they're not going to drop. I promise you, they're going to hit her with both. There'll be two trials. Exactly. I guarantee they'll hit her with both.
That's crazy. And it's all, I think that she's all hemmed up in the head about the felony thing, which I understand. Felony, that's a big deal. Yeah, it changes your life. Walking around with an ankle monitor, I'm sure that's embarrassing. I get it. But, is prison better?
Oh, no. I'd rather walk around with ankle wristlets. I don't care.
Oh, put them on the wrist.
Put them on everything, Daddy. Give me the collar.
Absolutely. I'll wear a damn t-shirt along with that that says I'm a felon.
Yeah.
I don't have to be in prison.
I'll do anything. Stay out there, Dad. Come on now.
Damn.
Let's say, Judge Carter, we're going to take this case to trial, which is the fleeing or attempting to elude, or we're going to take the aggravated battery to trial. So they'll pick and choose which one they're going to take to trial in April. And we'll try that case and we'll see what happens. And then you'll still have another case that's out there. And depending on what happened in this case, the other one can be resolved, or we'll go to trial on the other case in the future.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Damn.
Thank you.
She had a sweetheart deal.
Wow.
The prosecutor will not forget. Hey, now he will not forget. Wow, what a turn of events.
Somebody mark that down on your calendar, please. The day after Mikey's birthday on the 8th. I wonder if we get a chance to see that. I wonder if that's going to be.
Oh, I'm sure that guy is usually pretty good, and
Hey.
he leaves stuff up.
If there was ever a case, you guys know, when some of these big cases go out, where I was like, oh no. We
I would
can't.
sit through all that.
Yeah. That one, I would, yes.
It's going to be a dismantling of epic proportion where they're going to make an example of her for showing her ass. And the poor lawyer, God, I felt bad for her lawyer.
I mean,
You're making me look like a fool up here.
Yeah. That's a lot of work. Imagine all the work, the going back and forth, the prosecutor figuring out, trying to get the best deal. That's a lot of work to put in there for her to walk in there. First of all, to pretend that she didn't even know what the plea deal was.
Ankle monitor. I didn't say I'd agree to that.
Oh,
I like that. That was the breaker.
It's possible.
Might as well.
It's possible. It's Florida Friday today, Paula.
All Florida today. All Florida. Whew, well, that's pretty much a wrap. If you're just getting here, rewind and watch that case.
Yeah, especially that one, right?
That lady,
man,
she's out there, man. She is out there.
I don't think we've ever seen it. We've seen some people go, well, wait, hold up, wait a minute, about a plea deal, but nothing where they walk in
like 4 times.
I mean, that's crazy. And they went out and discussed it, and I think changed it up a little bit. If I'm not
just a tiny bit, I think.
And then, wow.
She hung up on being a felon. She needs to be hung up on being a felon that's in prison, doing time.
Wow. Oh, I can't. Seriously, yeah. She's going to need a good one. A really good one. I mean, we don't know her side of the story. But she didn't seem too confident as far as like, oh, I can fight this. I'm innocent. It didn't sound that way at all. She didn't even really, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, you kind of come off that way. She's just more or less just fixated on the felony part.
It's all alleged. It's all alleged up until the trial.
Innocent until proven guilty.
But she did herself no favors by her behavior in here. She did not come off. Sure, yeah.
Let's write them and say, listen, we're in South Carolina, North Carolina.
Would you let us come in on that? We watched the case and we would love to be there.
We would just love to be there just for this one. Yeah. My jury duty.
Bring us in.
Good Lord.
Got our own jury pool ready to go.
Yeah. Wow. All right. I can't process that. I still can't process that. I think I'd have an easier time processing that if I felt as if she was confident about being able to, because again, she's going to have to prove that she's not guilty.
And good on the judge keeping this cool.
He did.
He was cooler than the other side of the pillow, Daddy.
He did not have to tell that part of the story about the, I know somebody, that's 6 years, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's
without telling you what your best move is. He told you what your best move is.
Pamela, no.
No.
At all.
Ain't no way in hell.
He told her about the person with 6 years.
Her dumb ass had in her mind before she even got through there. No way.
I mean, we've seen judges kind of skate that line a little bit, kind of hint, nudge. Not that one.
I don't believe so at all. No.
That's crazy. Anyways, wow.
Got a great, exciting Florida Friday coming up on We Gotta Chase. Your Chase exclusive channel of only chases is We Gotta Chase. You can also watch over on Credence and Mikey. No show on the end. You can watch that. A U-Haul chase, Creed, that we Haven't seen many of those recently.
No.
This one with tons of pitting action.
Well, we just had a live one though this week. If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. The
No
U-Haul
pits
thing.
in that one.
Oh,
But this one is a banger. I think the kids call it. So make sure you're there for that, as well as members only for Credence and Mikey at
know what I was saying.
5:30.
God, loud. You know what I was saying.
So don't miss that.
I will not miss it. I will be here, and I will be here on time. I will be here with a big smile on my face, and I won't yawn 5 times like I just did during this. I don't know
Members
why.
only may take 2 hours.
Oh my God!
I'm just saying, we're gonna stop and talk a lot.
The Florida Hot Mess Express. I don't know how it can get any more hot and messy than that. Karen G, thank you, and happy birthday. Birthday with an F. Tiny Piggy Tommy. Tammy. Sally Port, thank you, the big gifter. Tiny Piggy, I miss Gary. Thank you, Gary. Lisa Figalicious. Dorothy, thank you. Miss K. Showing some love. Miss K again. Cole, the PP. Hope your migraine gets better. And Criff with the gift.
Criff with the gift for everybody.
Thank you, Chris.
Murph.
Thank you, guys. And we'll see you at 4:05 for We Got a Days.
That's right. And until then, make sure you like this video. Go ahead and share it with a friend. Subscribe wherever you're watching. We love to have you here. Go back and watch some old episodes because you never know. You might find out something you need to know for the next one. Do homework. Stay safe, stay hard, stay tuned. Top Guys gone from court. No probation. And F that ankle monitor.